my experience, fast cars win races.
This is the Repco Supercars Championship, the Melbourne Darwin Triple Crown.
Shane dives straight down the inside. Can he hold on to it? Oh, here we go. Hit. Pies turned him around. That is absolute chaos. They've all crashed into each other. What a start. Absolutely superb. 7th win of the year.
He's going to take a big step forward once again. Is he heading for the title in 2021? SVG gets it done in the tropics.
Yeehaw! Yeah, brother. That sounds stuff.
Moffat in car 1, Colin Bond in car 2. For the last time, a scene we've never seen before, side by side, for victory in the 1977 Hardy Ferodo 1000.
A tremendous victory, magnificent.
A Team 1-2 finish is a rare and coveted prize in motorsport. Leading into the 6th event of the 2021 Repco Supercars Championship, the 888 team had achieved this feat 57 times, closing in on the original Holden Racing team with 59.
Mark Scaife and Craig Lowndes came here individually as Bathurst legends. This victory will make them Bathurst immortals. It's a 1-2 for Team Vodafone.
With more all-time wins, podiums and pole positions than any other, to secure the distinction as the top team for 1-2 finishes would underscore 888 as the most powerful supercar force of the modern era.
Hello.
888's internal recipe for success features 6 key pillars. In the modern business era, it's rare to see a company mantra that contains a party clause. But Roland Dane rigidly adheres to his 6 pillars policy statement, and the results are hard to argue with.
If you're going to run a good race team, you have absolutely got to look after the people who get the job done. I believe in any sporting team you've got to try and pull everyone together. The way I express this is to party hard.
I don't think that there are many girls who in their early 20s went to strip clubs in Thailand with their fathers, which is very strange, but the whole of the 888 team was also in the same strip club. Yeah, I've had some strange times over the years.
Another time.
It's on. No. It's on.
It's more about being inclusive. So doing things together, trying to keep everyone, drivers, management, mechanics, etc., as a unit, know them and us.
Shot.
It's actually the most important time to bring everyone together is when you haven't won, not when you have won. When you've got to try and boost everyone back again, and then you've tied everyone back together by partying hard.
That's a good camera shot.
Okay, the camera.
What are we talking about?
Cruise in your digger, which is pretty bad for you. Actually, maybe don't. We'll end up in jail.
Yeah.
It's a full-time job, and then we travel and we room together, travel on planes together, sit in cars together, so we spend a lot of time together. So that team dynamic, that team culture is critical.
Do you know what you call a Mexican that can't find their car? Carlos. What about a Mexican hiding under your carpet? Underlay. Anyway, what's this thing for? Is this on or?
I think so.
You do have to have a bit of a relaxed approach, you know, outside of racing. You have to be able to chill out and not always be switched on. And I think that's one thing that 888 does very well.
Yeah, the environment was great. I mean, everyone worked really hard. You know, the work ethic there was second to none. There was no one scared of putting in the hard yards because everyone enjoyed the success. And, you know, we were lucky enough to have a lot of success. Then equally, after you've done all the hard work, you know, Roland was never shy in, you know, throwing a meal at a restaurant, or, you know, our end of year Christmas parties were really quite amazing. But you got that balance with, you know, working you all hard, but then looking after you. You know, the conditions you worked in and the equipment you had to do your job was second to none, and you got to get that balance right. And RD certainly knew how to demand the most out of people, but then he knew how to smack you on the back and give you a hug and and throw a party and get everyone drunk at the right time as well. So that it was work hard, play hard, and I think it brought the best out in people.
Tropical North Queensland is exactly where you want to be in July. This weekend it plays host to the Repco Supercars Championship for round 6. Beautiful sunny conditions for this afternoon's 250-kilometre race. Taxing environment for our gladiators who'll be feeling the heat.
The 888 We Are a Family mantra, blending collaboration, inclusion and teamwork, frequently delivers results. On one level, managing the bond across the wider team is straightforward. However, managing drivers' individual aspirations is not. Historically, race drivers are typically programmed to be selfish and in business for themselves.
You can't be best friends with someone when it's your dream and your life goal to win a championship, and he's beating you or trying to beat you every week. It's pretty hard to be friends.
We hang out quite a bit. It's in some way it's forced, but we hang out. We hang out when we can, for sure.
For Jamie, as the curtains draw on his full-time career, reinforcing his status, going out on top and adding to his legacy is personally important.
Townsville has it all this weekend. Sun, sea and supercars.
Jamie Whincup around the outside of his teammate Shane van Gisbergen.
For Shane, knocking off the guy the media have labelled the GOAT is equally important, especially at a venue like Townsville, where Jamie has always excelled.
Right, give me everything you got, mate. Give me everything you got.
The friction is building.
Van Gisbergen behind Whincup. This is a great battle. Can Van Gisbergen run him down? He'll be aggressive now. Do we know what he's like in this mindset?
Van Gisbergen, he had a good run through 10. Oh, locks the rears down into 11, but does get it done just. I think his teammate / next year's team owner was very kind to him there and let him go.
This man is operating so well in 2021. He is the gun.
Can't stairs, bro. Work hard.
Yes. That was awesome. He's been sweating again. Yeah, look at him. He looks fucked, doesn't he?
Great to have you with us for our live coverage of round 6 of the Repco Supercars Championship. We are in tropical North Queensland for the NTI Townsville 500. We are getting set for the top 10 shootout. They're all after the Red Bull Ampol racing team.
This guy yesterday in the shootout brained him by 0.3 of a second. What's he got for us today?
The only way to beat these guys is to get them off the front row of the grid. Here we go. What's it do? 12.65 for Van Gisbergen.
Van Gisbergen to the top.
Nice work, mate. Nice work. Currently P1. Snipping after the fuel and tyres, please. Just Jamie to go, mate. So we'll see what happens.
Jamie Whincup, can he do it now? His 108th shootout. He's got plenty of experience, and he's the benchmark operator at this venue.
He owns the streets of Townsville.
This is going to be a great lap. He's going to knock them off by a fair way if he keeps this up without a mistake. Come on. Come on.
Through the final corner. Little bit of wheel spin for the run to the line. Straighten the wheel up. Now Jamie be looking at the dash. What did he do? 12.3. So yesterday Van Gisbergen smashed him by 0.3. Today it's Whincup's turn.
That was a great lap.
I love the elation from Jamie. He's had a million pole positions and that one meant a lot.
Whincup's pole position is a big breakthrough. 1 year after his last at the same venue, and the margin is impressive. 0.3 of a second.
Yeah, so I'd been a bit dry with pole positions, and Townsville's been a happy hunting ground for me over the years. Since it first started in 2009, we've gone there. I've enjoyed the track, and yeah, it was a bit of a dry spell, so to get a pole in Townsville was nice.
Although on the same side in 2021, Whincup and Van Gisbergen have often engaged in fierce combat, wearing different team colours.
The first one was highly publicised, and that was Gold Coast. We were just having a ding-dong battle to try to win the Gold Coast 600.
Shane Van Gisbergen won't be happy with second, I can tell you, after this battle. He wants that first spot.
Concentrate, mate, concentrate.
Running out of laps, running out of time.
And the radio contact then was concentrate, mate, concentrate. He can't concentrate any harder than this. Whoops, whoop. That's a little mistake. To win this race, can't make that mistake again.
Yeah, I remember I hadn't won a race then, so it closed up to him pretty early in the stint.
And the only mistake that we've seen Jamie Whincup make, he got away with it.
Van Gisbergen to be saying, gee, I hope Jamie makes that mistake again.
Oh, exactly.
And I'm going to be there when he does.
And I'm going to help him, like that. I'm going to help him make that mistake. He's up the inside.
I think it was the last lap I got alongside him down the front straight, and then we both just braked too late.
Down the front straight.
He's got him.
It's a duel for the lead. Whincup versus Van Gisbergen. The Kiwi against the defending series champion. This is an almighty dive into the chicane.
Oh!
And they make contact. Both of them go through, and car number one pops out in front. It's not done with yet at turn 4. Van Gisbergen keeps going.
Go for it.
Keeps pushing.
Go to reserve 2, please.
They've got nothing left in the tank. The way he's going, it's Van Gisbergen all or nothing.
This is the last lap, mate, just in case you weren't sure.
This is the last lap. There will be a dive.
This really is an all or nothing approach from the young Kiwi.
The only thing you can do is give him a serve. You'll bump him here. You'll bump him, run him wide. He can't do it.
Whincup's going to hold on. Whincup has fought off an extraordinary battle, and he takes victory in a race to remember.
Great work, boys.
It's probably one of the best second places I've ever had.
I got the better of him that day, but I could tell as a 18, I think he was 18, 19 years old or something, he's going to be a threat in years to come, and he certainly was.
Feel the tension building, the heat haze on the grid. Here we go. Time to go racing in Townsville. And let's do it all again. Great start, Jamie Whincup, delivering from the front row, just like he did 24 hours ago.
Fighting vigorously for supremacy with other drivers from different teams is standard procedure in this sport. But it's a very different matter within a team. At 888, hard racing between teammates is expected. But friendly fire is a red line not to be crossed.
So yesterday, when Shane Van Gisbergen caught the back of car 88, he was able to make light work of the move down at turn 11. He's within the zone now, half a second off the back of Jamie Whincup. What approach does Jamie take today? Does he fight?
Yeah, I told him just be fucking smart.
This is the moment. He loves the move under brakes, but Whincup says no, he fights back.
But what about here? So this is the spot. He'll feint one way and then flick the other. Bang. He didn't need to feint. In fact, he got straight down there. Oh,
and he parks in mid-corner. An exchange between the two. And they square off in the midpoint of turn 13, but SVG is back to the lead, just like he did yesterday.
You want two competitive drivers. So you want everybody to be pushing everybody to the absolute limit. And again, I mean, that's what makes 888 so great, is that they've always had two drivers that are pushing each other, and that means when you've got two drivers up the front, they're going to be racing each other on track at some point. And of course, the golden rule is, you know, don't hit your teammate, don't take them off. Inevitably, at some point, it is going to happen that they're going to have some contact. It is going to happen that they might turn each other around one day.
He has pushed himself to the point of exhaustion this weekend. He's thrown everything at his teammate and come up the winner on both occasions. Shane Van Gisbergen victorious in Townsville.
Yes! That was awesome, mate. That was, between you and J-Dub, probably one of the best team performances I've seen for a very long time, mate. Absolutely awesome all weekend from the both of you. Pushing each other to the limit, mate. It's so good to watch. Thank you so much.
That was good middle stint.
Dotto wasn't happy.
He didn't say much.
No?
He didn't say much.
So for starters, if they're just glancing, we've gotten used to it. It's not meant to happen. I got in trouble the first time they did, a lot of trouble. I think that was back in Tassie a few years back.
Here it is, down the inside, on the dirty part of the road. He's battling to stop.
Here, look at this, up the front.
It's contact.
And that sends Lowndes off. Incredible. The teammates made contact. The leader of the race goes off, slides way back.
That's what they don't want inside a single team garage.
There's only really one rule, and that's don't run into each other. And unfortunately, in 2014, Lowndes and I end up running into each other at the end of the back straight.
On board now with Whincup. He's come from about a car length back. Now watch, he battles to stop. He gets it stopped, he's up there, he fed it second gear. He runs into the front door, so he's up far enough.
The pass was on. There was no doubt. If I didn't take that pass, I shouldn't be a racing driver. I should just hang the helmet up and go on and sell ice cream on the side of the street.
It's unfortunate. I'm going to have an awkward conversation with Lowndes. We've been mates for 10 years and hopefully I can continue, but I feel like I haven't done anything wrong, but it's disappointing that we didn't have a 1-2, which is what the team deserved.
I blame Jamie at the time, but look, and at the time you're heated in the moment. I look back on it, it was a racing incident. I should have shut the door. He had a half an opportunity, he went for it, and it is what it is. But it was the policy at the time for Red Bull not to have contact.
Yeah, so I think we're going to go outside. I think we're going outside rather than staying in the garage.
Roland dragged us into the transporter, kicked everyone out, and we sat at the front of it in the driver's section, and he berated us.
He didn't care what everyone's story was. He said, mate, I'm relying on you guys not to run into each other, and you ran into each other.
You made contact, and I'm willing to tear up both your contracts.
I was furious at the time, but and they both took it on board, and the drivers, they all know that. I mean, it doesn't mean that every so often you won't have something like, when Jamie managed at I think in 2016 at Pukekohe to do some synchronised spinning.
Jamie knows this is the area of vulnerability, and there's a touch. He's turned. They've both gone round. They've both gone round. This is what they did not want to see at Red Bull, and that's the reaction in the garage. Grant McPherson, David Couchy. It's Roland Dane's face that'll be the telling story.
Once again, it was me making a pass. Gee, there's a bit of a what do you call it? There's a common denominator here. Is that right? A bit of pattern starting to form where I've attempted a pass that hasn't gone right. But yeah, went down the inside of SVG. We both, I locked the rears, touched. We both pirouetted around. It looked quite elegant on the TV.
He locks, slams in. He's nailed him. And he's going to be penalised.
Thankfully, SVG went on to actually, I think he ran second or third in that race, scored more points and basically guaranteed him the championship. So I sort of got away with that one.
Whincup is in the spot. Whincup is right there, and he got blocked. His teammate blocked him. He's still coming. It still might happen, but it's going to take some work.
It's tough battling your teammate because you can't do the usual lunge. You can't take that 50-50 because contact, and you're not doing the number one rule, which is not run into each other.
He's made his intentions clear.
Yep. I'd like to see the face of Roland Dane when this is all unfolding. Will Whincup do it this time? Will he feint? No, what he's going to do this time, he's going to try to do the crisscross, but you're on the outside. Van Gisbergen cleverly stayed off the throttle purposely and made Jamie bump the back of his car.
I don't know if I expected Shane to let him through. I didn't expect him to make it probably that hard.
Wes and David Couchy, there's a fair bit of drama going on down there. They're leading, but there's a fair bit of drama.
Some paint was starting to get traded. Yeah, when it sort of got to that level, that's when I think things got sort of a little bit heated.
I'm being told you have to give up the position for Jamie. I don't understand. Why? Captain's call, mate. You need to give up the position. Captain's call. Really sorry, buddy. Nothing I can do. Sorry? I can go faster. Mate, I'm losing the argument here, mate. That's all I've been told.
Flick to the right and then go back to the left. He was too far up. They bumped again. They bumped again. Now he's going to get alongside. But it'd be on the wrong side of the road. Van Gisbergen's got the inside run for turn 2.
They're from the same garage, but they're determined to fight it out on the racetrack. Van Gisbergen's got the sit down at turn 2. Can Whincup swing it back?
Turn back, turn back. No, he was in there too deep, and Shane did that purposely. He left it there before he turned it at the corner. There's David Couchy, who has been traditionally Whincup's engineer, is watching two blokes just having a real crack at it. Jamie's just backed it off just a little bit now, but that was just a fantastic exchange.
Let's watch them come home once again. Shane Van Gisbergen. Whincup second, a good scrap all the way to the checkered flag, and another 1-2 that finishes car 97, car 88.
Sorry for making that awkward. Sorry. Copy that, mate. We'll have a chat when you get back in, mate. We'll have a chat.
In the process of achieving a win and second placing, Triple Eight surpassed the original Holden Racing team to become the all-time record holder for Team 1-2 results. None of these background numbers meant anything to the team in the peak of the battle. Inside the garage, the rivalry produced a lot of awkward discomfort.
Yeah, so after that race, RD pulled me aside and you know, he acknowledged that it was a good racing move, and if it was against anyone else, he would have been very happy with me. But in this instance, he said that if I ever did that again, that he'd sack me. So I guess I won't do it again.
I love the battle and I love the racing, but I knew that wasn't going to be good when we got back to the truck and with the team stuff. So it's a bit of a shame, because I loved always battling him until I joined the team. Then we couldn't really battle like that anymore, although we did. Yeah, it's been tense at times, but I think as teammates we've been pretty good and always pushing each other up higher and higher.
The biggest thing is, as a rule, Triple Eight, we race each other as teammates. We don't hit. We don't cause the other one to hit. As a team manager, it's my fault. But it's hard to control them sometimes because you're not in there steering the wheel.
Tell me what I did wrong by that. Nothing.
Well,
exactly. I did nothing wrong. I did stuff wrong by the team, but driving-wise, I did nothing wrong at all.
We're a team. Listen to your teammates. When we don't work together, you don't always get the results.
Self-assessment and being brutal about what you've done right and what you've done wrong is essential. Unless you're prepared to really get down on your haunches and see every time what you did, even when you've had a 1-2 and got fastest lap, could we have done better? We got away with it maybe because the opposition didn't do as well. But if the opposition had been on their toes, maybe we wouldn't have had a 1-2 because we still left something on the table.
Okay, here goes up. You want Daddy to carry you or you want to walk?
Carry me.
Okay. Go see Grandma and Granddad.
The ongoing effects of the COVID-19 pandemic forced supercars to reshape the calendar, with 4 back-to-back weekends at Sydney Motorsport Park, then the famous Bathurst 1000.
Who are you going to sit with?
With you, Daddy.
With me? Hello.
For the second year running, the calendar shift meant even more large chunks of time away from friends and family.
I got 3 boys. One's old enough to move out, so the other 2 are 17 and 15, and usually they've taken it in their stride. But for this one, Yeah, they were sort of like, why? Well, yeah, why so long? Why are you doing that? They're old enough to understand as well. So once you tell them, they understand. But see what you're doing, mate. Yeah, it's a bit harder with the 4-year-old girl. But I clear my throat. I'll stop being a softie. But that said, mate, you call her up and you want to talk to Dad. Nah. You missing Dad? Nah.
Daddy's going away, isn't he? In 10 nights, that's right. Very good. You remembered.
Ultimately, they're tough enough. They know what you do, and they respect it. They like what you do. You know, you have an aspirational job, so they see what hard work brings.
Great to have you with us here at Sydney Motorsport Park for round 8 of the Repco Supercars Championship. After a 3-month hiatus, supercars roar back to life in the spectacular city of Sydney.
Yeah, so 4 on the trot at SMP. So never been done before, I don't think, in Australian motorsport in that regard. So just repeat. So yeah, it'll be a tough one. And the last time we were here wasn't our best performance either. So there's a lot of pressure on.
The team had performance concerns at this location. The last win here for 888 was 2018, and adding to the pressure, in recent visits, rivals and pit garage neighbours, Dick Johnson Racing, were extremely fast. So when Shane topped qualifying, there was a sense of relief heading into the top 10 shootout to determine the pole position. The shootout was almost back-to-back on the event timetable, and in their haste, the team made a rare mistake, neglecting to fit radiator blanking to the car to temporarily help the aerodynamics. In the high-stakes chase for fractions of time, even dropping 1/10 of a second can be costly.
We had time.
Yeah, we were rushed at the end, so we thought, oh fuck.
Yeah.
A little bit of panic. We should have got out. But yeah, exactly. We should have. And same old. Clearly we didn't tick the top list off.
At the end of the day, it's our fault. We don't know the rules.
Yeah.
It's our fault. It's all good. We forgot to put the blanking back in.
So hold their breath through turn 1 and turn 2.
See what happens.
Yep.
Now our championship leader has his opportunity in car number 97. He's got a decent points margin going into the final phase of the championship season.
Turn, you can't go. Yes.
Now this is going to be a nail-biter, folks. This will go all the way to the wire and potentially be split by the 100th.
Out, go.
Out of the final corner here for Van Gisbergen. The car is tracking beautifully straight.
It's not that good.
How close is he? Didn't get there in the end. So he drops into position number 4.
Nice work, mate. Nice work. That's P4. Really sorry about the car there, mate. But we'll sort it out for the race.
I would have gone faster. Forgot to put the blanking in, had no rad blanking.
So our final runner now is Anton De Pasquale. Can he stitch together the critical lap now of the weekend to get his account underway? What is the timing indication? Tell us it's the best we've seen.
It's flowing so nicely.
So close.
This is a masterful display by Anton De Pasquale.
He's on target for an armour on pole. Does he close the deal? Yes. Well done, Ludo. Well done, the Shell V-Power Racing team, and well done, Anton De Pasquale.
Right, race cars, mate.
Got some work to do.
Okay. Firstly, sorry Shane, that was a rookie error from ours. We shouldn't have made that mistake. Obviously can happen, but shouldn't have, so apologies for that.
That's okay.
For the home team, if you hadn't heard, the blanking was left out, the front blanking. Cracking on. Shano, any mechanicals?
When I first started at 888, Dutto was race engineering Jamie, and then eventually he became team manager, I became Jamie's race engineer, and Dutto was at 888 before it was 888. He's pretty cool under pressure, let's say that, yeah. So, you know, he does have this sort of calming ability on the team.
Fucking idiot.
And yeah, if you can be just that little bit calmer when things are going wrong, that can have a really positive effect on the outcome.
He's got a rugby team mentality about him, you know, that you're a part of a team all the time rather than just being there as an individual. And that's really what's carried him through to being a team manager for the last few years.
But now with a 4.5 second margin, what a brilliant job in the top 10 shootout, and a beautiful race for him thus far. Drives it out of the turn 8 hairpin for the final time. You'll catch a glimpse of Shane van Gisbergen in the background.
Puts it out to the wall, lads.
Lines it up. Here's the checkered flag. Race number 20 of the championship belongs to Anton Di Pasquale and the Shell V-Power Racing team.
Superb performance by everybody at DJR and Shell V-Power Racing. Hasn't made a mistake all day.
And a beautiful drive from Van Gisbergen, a smart drive to come home in second spot.
Ladies and gentlemen, your race 20 Bunnings Trade Super Night podium, and now the celebrations.
Gotta get some photos.
I'm not sure if he knows we've only got one suit each.
He knows we're away for 2 months, doesn't he?
Spray with champagne, I need to live in this for the next. Good problem to have.
Yeah.
Fucking
Yeah.
when you're complaining
Yeah,
about getting sprayed
whatever.
with champagne.
Hand the fucking thing back.
Fucking first world problems. Well done. You know what that was, boys?
That's a beauty.
Blanking in. Blanking in. Blanking in.
Good job.
Well done.
Good job.
If we can kick off then, everyone, please. We're almost there time-wise, so let's start, please. David Cauchi first told Jamie and I at the middle of the year that he was probably going to leave. So we gave him every opportunity to stay if he wanted to, but the Groves have promised him what could be a big step up for him, or it could be a disaster. But as I said to him, he's welcome to come back when he's fucked that joint up.
Both senior engineers moving away from a team simultaneously is rare in motorsport. For Wes McDougall, Jamie Whincup's engineer, the decision was for personal health reasons. On the other side of the garage, David Cauchi's departure came as a shock, especially given his rapport with Shane and the fact that they were both on target to win a championship.
Yeah, I was a bit blindsided. I kind of heard the Wes thing and understood that. You know, he had some health issues as well at Stone Brothers and knew he's been sort of managing that all his life. But then the Cauchi stuff, there was a meeting come up on my phone called Future Planning with Dado and Jada, but shit, what's this? What have I done now? I'm in trouble.
It was the biggest decision I've made in my life. Triple Eight feels like it's been part of my entire life, certainly my adult life, and I've made so many good friends, had so many unbelievable experiences. Obviously won races, championships, Bathurst. I couldn't have asked for anything more. It was harder to tell Jamie, really, because yeah, Jamie's my best friend, so it was really hard. I think, he understands that I'm trying to better myself in a different way, just like he is, hanging up the driver boots and taking on a team principal role. It's a massive step, and just like it will be for me going from a race engineer to a team principal role at Grove Racing.
In motorsport, teams spend millions of dollars perfecting their intellectual property in search of an engineering edge over their opponents. When a senior engineer defects, they're typically restricted from working in the sport for an agreed period to prevent private competitive information leaking to a rival team.
it all just comes down to doing the right thing by your previous employer, you know. So if Couchy does the right thing, then absolutely there'll be no bad blood. And if one day down the track he wants to come back, if we've got a spot, we'll happily have him back. So it's just going to be up to him in the next 6 months in particular, just to do the right thing. And if he does, you know, he'll stay a family member, and we'll go out on the track and race hard and compete against each other and enjoy beating each other on the track. But we'll always be good mates for life, you know, if that respect is upheld.
He's very good at his job, but he's got a glass ceiling in our place. We wish him all the best, and he's done it the right way, which I take my hat off to him.
Losing key personnel wasn't a new concept for Roland Dane. In 2016, a bombshell dropped on Roland personally and professionally when his once loyal lieutenant and highly successful chief engineer, Ludo Lacroix, sensationally defected to arch rivals, Dick Johnson Racing Team Penske.
Yeah, well, when Ludo left Triple Eight, he'd been with us in one form or another for 17 years or so, and we'd achieved an awful lot together. Him going was not an issue. It was purely the way he went about it.
RD would never admit it now. In fact, it came up in conversation the other day and he was like, I didn't do that, I didn't care about it. He took Ludo leaving so to heart. He didn't come to work.
The way in which it happened hurt Roland. So the not playing a straight bat. Yeah, I was in a meeting where Ludo's there and it's Ludo, myself and Roland, and he's not going to another team. That's what he's telling you to your face.
I think the kicker for Roland was when he learnt that Ludo was going to DJR. He found out, from what I believe, secondhand.
There's a good way to handle things and there's a bad way. And however good an engineer he is, and he's second best engineer in pit lane behind Jeremy Moore, the fact is that he is inexperienced, if you like, in handling these sort of situations. So instead of just telling me the truth, he lied about, you know, having made contact with Penske and everything, etc., and done a deal with them, and told me he was going sailing for a year or two.
Sometimes when you're changing jobs, having to disclose where you're going and what you're doing, stop you doing what you're doing. So, you know, it's I was very clear with Triple Eight. I did say I will not be there next year, and that was early September. So I gave them 4 months, which I needed no days within my contract. I could, you know, walk away on the 1st of January, being there on the 31st of December. That was my contract.
For somebody who had worked with him for 17 years, and to find out the way that he did, that Ludo was going to the opposition, yeah, that really cut RD quite deep.
What struck me as strange is you've got somebody who's intellectually, you're right up there, one of the smartest people you ever meet, but hadn't worked out that his company phone would show up if he'd been talking to a number in America whose number I also had, right, in my phone. It's that sort of naivety, I suppose, that then led to him not doing it the right way.
It was clear, I'm on a year contract. I don't have to disclose what I'm doing. I gave them 4 months, and I thought that was good enough. Now, yes, I like to be able to smooth that out, but that would have been probably very painful with Hardy at the time, so I decided to do it that way. I've told you I'm not going to be with you. I don't need to tell you where I'm going and what I'm doing. That's how I see it. Basically, you know, we divorced. Have you got a girlfriend? That's different. It's not that discussion. Thank you. That's how I see it.
I will confirm this is the last lap. I will confirm. Thank you.
Last lap.
Copy.
Anton acknowledges the final lap from his engineer Ludo Lacroix.
Ludo was enormous for Triple Eight. He was enormous for us. He was such a good guy in the UK with the Triple Eight team. And then when we went to Australia, he followed Roland down there as well. And they become good friends, I have to say. And he was such an important part of the success of Triple Eight.
Anton De Pasquale's had an amazing weekend pace-wise, and he picks up maximum points in the final race in our first endeavour here at Sydney Motorsport Park.
Great job, mate. Full collect. Thank you. Full collect. Great job.
Good job, guys. Good job. Thank you. Nice to get a podium to finish off a tough weekend, but thank you. Thanks for believing in me. Cheers.
Roland thought that he had more loyalty with Ludo than Ludo gave us, to be honest. And it really focused Roland's mind to restructure the team, bring in a couple of guys, and he was hell-bent then on beating Ludo.
Keep getting beaten like that and flogged in qualifying. Yeah. It's not fun at all. Not fun at all.
I could see RD sitting back at home going, these cunts are not on it, you know what I mean? But we just didn't have a tool to fight with. But
obviously, after that, you know, there's a rivalry, which is Dick Johnson Racing Team Penske versus Triple Eight, and this is business.
Ladies and gentlemen, your race 22 Bunnings Trade Super Night podium. Let's celebrate in Sydney.
I've moved on. I mean, I've got no problem with RD at all. I don't have any scar or anything, but I'm maybe the one to be blamed because I am the one which decided to go. I wouldn't say we are as friends as we were 10 or 15 years ago.
I remember we were flying back from a racetrack, but it was post Ludo's move. Roland knew that Ludo was on the same plane, and Roland actually got seated beside Ludo. We all knew what was going on, but Ludo had no idea when he walked onto the plane, and then of course he looked up and saw Roland sitting there.
So he must have asked, can I sit near Ludo? Where is it? And it wasn't accidental. Things don't happen by accident with RD. You've got to realize that. And that was fine. We discussed about children's family and things, and not about racing.
Well, we ended up sitting next to each other on the plane in Adelaide, coming back from Adelaide the following season, and we had a good chat, right? So no problem. Yeah, as I said, as an engineer, I've got huge respect for him.
Did you ever have him back?
Me? No, I'm not saying Triple Eight might, but while I was running it, no. I mean, Ludo he asked if he could come back a year ago, and he asked everyone but me to ask me. I said no.
He's underneath him, they're touching, there's supposed to be a no-touch rule here. Oh, and he's off the road.
What's going on?
No option, mate, no option. Let the faster team car through,
And I can guarantee you that Roland Dane will not be happy seeing these two guys doing this at the moment.
Well, they're slowing each other up. He's running right off the road this time.
And this is a mega moment for Will Brown. Congratulations.
At the end of the day, he didn't do what he's told, unfortunately.
Fucked away, Rachel. Fuck it.